You're on the road a lot with speaking and stuff, or?
Yeah, I have been on the road a little bit more than normal again, and May's going to be pretty busy, but then
Hmm.
it slows down a little bit in June, which is nice.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about some things. So this is our last session and all of that. So closure and reports. So yeah, event went really well. So 8,800 gross and about 4,500 net. So that meets and exceeds expectations. We were looking at like 3,600 for the net. So 12 people showed up, 12 builds. Overall, very positive event. And of course, the first time learnings of things taking a little longer, but people had just an amazing time. I think it was really good. Let me just show you a picture from the event, maybe um, just to show you what it looked like. Yeah, in the shop, and most people are of the profile of just wanting to learn and take a
Want the
working printer
experience, right?
home. Yep,
They,
go ahead.
they just want the experience of
Yeah.
having done something. Yeah,
Experience definitely, but also a lot of the people were into. They do see the idea that yeah, this is something I can really understand by getting my hands on, because there's not really in the United States. I don't think there's any or at least regular ongoing 3D printer workshops. There might be one random one here at some hackerspace here and there. So this is definitely a good opportunity. So yeah. I mean, very pleased and planning the next one for 6 weeks from now, and that's pretty good. I think the strength was. I think people are in general very interested. Like the whole story is compelling because I always spin the story on kind of do the marketing thing of spinning the story of why this is useful and how it can change the economy and so forth. People really get into that because it's a lot of these kind of a lot of the crowd is definitely idealistic and all that.
yeah,
So um, yeah.
very
Um,
cool.
Right. So I think it's as far as the expectations of progress for that 200K mark in a year as far as the revenue. I think we're on there. I mean, I definitely see huge improvement. We're going to add so right now we did the 3D printer, but we're going to add a filament maker, so you're actually including the recycling idea, meaning that you're taking scrap plastic and turning it into raw filament again. So that's going to attract way many more people. Our development team, we've got like 10 people right now. What was amazing, I think the highlight for me was I was really busy that week, and then I showed up hoping, okay, I hope the instructionals that our team did are pretty good. I wake up that day and my inbox or one wiki page it's got 10 of these videos, which are 30 seconds each, super high quality voiceover exploded part animations of every single step of the build. So that was like, holy cow, this is really cool. Got a standing ovation during the workshop. Like I said, hey guys, what'd you think of it? Everyone clapped. They were very impressed. And it's all open source. So yeah, the team's coming together. I feel good about the velocity of the development process picking up, and we're constantly recruiting here. So last time we talked, I think we were like at about 6 or so developers. Right now we're at about 10. So it's growing, and definitely I feel comfortable that we're going to deliver on like the next technological improvement, like the filament maker. We can definitely do that and keep making the product more interesting. So you're hitting people from many sides. It's like you can build a 3D printer, you can build a filament maker. We're gonna get into other machines that are derivatives that are pretty cool, and the products of those machines like cordless drills or little drones, aerial drones that you can make out of it. So yeah, I feel awesome about it. Yeah. So any comments, suggestions, comments, or what do you see here? Or?
I like the fact that right away you actually made money on one of the events, that you're building out the systems, you've got really good stuff that you're proud of and you like. So
Mm-hmm.
that all of these parts can scale. So now it's replicate, right? So now
Yeah.
it's do it again and do it again. And if you could be doing one of these a month, and you were doing $4,000 a month, there's 50 grand a year.
That's 50 right there, so that's where we're at. And my goal for the next one, I could definitely see we're going to double the population. Because thing was, there was definitely some feedback on the Facebook. It's like, okay, show me the quality of your prints. And it's like we're still struggling, scrambling to get everything wrapped up and organized for the first workshop. There's a whole process that you take on to do like the optimization. It's the absolute perfect print. We haven't gotten there, and even with that, we had 12 people sign up. So now that this time around, we're going to just show the perfect prints and show the workshop pictures, and some workshop time lapse and video, and I have a feeling, yeah, we're gonna get to the numbers we like, and my sweet number would be like 24, because then we're netting like 8,000 per event, so that gets us, I mean, 8 times 12 is about 100K already, and then the evolution from that would be either to multiply these events. So what I'm seeing is that the development team that I'm building, a lot of them are interested in this. So I'm really seeing that I'm developing this grid or funnel of, okay, I'm training people. They're going to be the people that are going to run workshops in the future too. Some of the people that from the workshops, there's 3 people from the workshop that are signing up as developers. So I think that grid of and funnel is kind of materializing. So yeah, it's really good. The weak point is so my HR guy, he hasn't really been, like, I spent so 2 weeks ago I spent a bunch of time. I spent some late nights. I had to do more HR and really going through my inbox and just following a lot of HR stuff, like just recruiting, just emailing and so forth. Somehow I'm like, the one guy got a like tendonitis. I had 2 guys doing that. One guy got tendonitis, so he dropped off, and this other guy's doing like not really performing. So somehow I gotta beef up this HR thing, and somehow through the advertisements we put on Volunteer Match and so forth, like Volunteer Match, Indeed.com, and some other one, Idealist, it's just like no one's picking up on it. I'm kind of like a little stuck. Like I don't know what I'm doing there, what's wrong there, but I just can't find I can't get my hands on a decent HR person to. Once again, these are all volunteers, but my team on average is doing 12 hours a week. So I mean, they're definitely performing as far as the dev team, but the HR guy just haven't had luck, and I'm kind of like not really sure what that is.
The HR one, I think, is going to be a tough one for you because you're kind of requiring an HR specialist who can be really good at HR to then understand all the roles in your business, which is complex.
Yeah.
So it's versus all the other roles, you're just looking for somebody who's really good at doing X.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to understand the rest of everything else, because as long as they're good at X, you just need X done.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the HR needs somebody to now be able to recruit for all these other roles that they don't necessarily even understand. This is going to be your complex one for sure.
So you're saying the bottleneck there is the level of understanding of the subject matter that the HR guy has to have? Like, to be an effective recruiter, he's going to have to understand a lot what would participate in a weekly meeting, right?
You probably want to get him out to do one of the builds.
Yeah, and he did come to the house build last year, so I thought, yeah, he's pretty good, and he's definitely aligned, but it's just like somehow the motivation is lacking there, or probably the skill set, I actually think. But yeah, I think that's consistent with what I'm observing here, that he just like doesn't really know where to start, and it ends up that I'm kind of like doing all the work for him. So it's, I guess, training. But okay, if it were so let's see what it is. I mean, is this guy salvageable? I mean, I can definitely talk to him and say, hey, it's like you haven't been putting in the time, because he's putting in 5 hours out of 10 every week on average, actually, and it's just not producing the results. And it's what I don't know if it's motivation or skill set or what. It's probably that he's just too deep into the deep end, because he doesn't really understand a lot about the subject matter. So I think what you just said about understanding more of that could definitely be a reason for that, because he's just not engaged. So what I tried is actually told him, hey, come get closer to our team, definitely participate in the meetings, because he was kind of like off as his own project. But I think part of that is not being close enough to the team definitely was a bad idea, because I thought that we could kind of run the HR more independent of the core development process.
If it was a normal HR role for a normal company, they could probably be very independent because they understand normal roles in normal companies. But this is now, you're getting into some pretty technical things you want this person to be recruiting for.
Yeah. So the job description. Let me show you the job description that we have, and maybe you can point to suggestions on why it's hard to get. So I got this job descriptions page. For example, this guy. We're looking for documenters as part of the deal. So me see. So if you briefly look at that, that's the job description. So that's what he's recruiting for. Is that so difficult to get? Because I'm kind of missing, like, why is it so particularly hard?
Well, so I don't understand any of this.
You don't? Do we have to simplify this? Even internally, we got to simplify this?
Developers, I don't know what you mean. Well, you need to teach the recruiter what he's looking for and where to find it. You know, remember, like a recruiter who's working for let's say they're working for a technology company,
Yeah.
they're immersed in subject matter expertise for a long time to get to understand what they're really looking for. You understand this intuitively, but a recruiter who's never been around what you do, this is fucking Latin to them.
Yeah. Huh. One thing we can do is, because we found a way to, yeah.
I have no idea what this is. I don't
Yeah.
understand anything that I'm reading.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's a little too much. Yeah. One thing I can try with him I mean, we found a way to do a pretty low cost build of the 3D printer where it's like you only need like $150 for like a super stripped down but also still working version. So maybe we could try getting all these guys their hands on the 3D printer, for example, and they could start playing with it and maybe get more engaged as part of the, maybe some of the training of, okay, here's the technology we're working with, more training.
No, I think it may come a different way. I think it may come from looking to the people that are working on the builds, people that are doing the rest of the work might actually know a recruiter who knows the space.
Uh-huh. That is possible. What about some of the OSE dev guys, moving them into the HR? You think that's definitely a possibility? I know there's at least one guy who's process oriented. Would you suggest something like that?
Say that again?
Possibly getting one of the OSE developers. One guy is actually pretty decent on process management. He could definitely step into the role, but then I'd need to get someone to replace him on the dev team, which we could. It's
It could
possible.
also just be that you don't really have a full-time HR recruiter person yet, that what you do is get all the current people to try to find one other role.
Yeah.
Let people working on this know about the other roles that you're recruiting for and see if you're 1 degree away from people. Good people know good people, and people that are wired to doing this are committed to the cause versus, a recruiter who doesn't understand the space and is trying to go and bring people into it. That's probably where I would start.
Uh-huh. Okay, and okay, that makes sense. So I can definitely bring that up as a good agenda point for the next meeting. So just their friends and email inbox.
Yeah, and then maybe it's the people that are working on the project right now. You give them something to share on Facebook. You give them something to share via email to all of their friends. You give them something to share and ask them to share it on community job boards. And then you might have an HR person who's helping to screen through the resumes and set up calls, but you may have to rely on yourself and some of the other people to do some of the technical interviewing.
Yeah, yeah. And I kind of was liking the technical interviewing because I'm trying to get good at understanding what like really sets somebody up in a second to see the kind of qualities they have and which guys work and which don't. So I wanted to stay in it for a little more so I can really guide somebody else to do that better. Yeah.
I think that's where you start, and then you may also be able to just kind of get the current team. So if the current team is recruiting, you may also want to slow down your recruiting a little bit and just really be specific about the next 4 or 5, and that way you don't hit the current employee, the current team with 40 positions that overwhelms them.
Mm-hmm.
Go from 6 to 10, from 10 to 14, from 14 to 20. You kind of grow methodically versus saying we have to go from 6 to 20.
Uh-huh.
If you're only recruiting for 4 roles, it's easier for them to pick 1 or 2 that they might have connections with and share them. But if you hit them with, we're looking for 14, it might overwhelm them a little bit, and they'll do nothing.
Okay. That's a definite route to focus the target recruiting market on very
I'm
specific.
I'm sitting in a hotel right now, and if you sent me a list that said I'm looking for people to clean rooms
Uh huh.
versus I'm looking for people to clean rooms, wash dishes, wash cars, be a busboy, work as a waiter, work as a bartender, be the pool person, somebody who can work in reservations. I'm like, fuck, that's so overwhelming. I don't know anybody.
Hmm.
But if I'm looking for bartenders, I'd at least think about the one role.
Hmm.
I think that's how you approach it: is you go to your current team with one or two roles, get that recruiting started, and once that's started, you go to them with the expanded team with another two roles. Then time.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Um, yeah, I'll do that. I think that's a definite good deal for me myself. Just about all the people I got to the team so far was me going through my inbox with people with raving interest to get involved in a project. And I just went back, like a year, and I still have like many years to if I did want to do it. But the point is that it's the personal contacts that already have been around me, or probably around other people, since people attract similar energy. So
Yeah,
I agree with that approach, and I've been doing that quite a bit. And as far as so
that,
maybe, yeah,
that's probably how you got the people you got is
that's
by
right.
going one at a time, right? So now just expand that one at a time to two at a time versus from 1 to 12.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I could probably just give somebody my credentials on an email and have them do that. But that would be basically a that would be a dedicated person. That would be like our recruiter. Like they could definitely go through my inbox and scour it for interest emails.
Look, and you can go to the current people that are involved in the project and say, we're looking for a recruiter who understands these kinds of technical jobs and technical space. Do you know anybody? And they might go, yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I don't think you
Yeah.
have to. I don't think you go for the recruiter necessarily first. I mean, you'll probably end up there at some point.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think so. What's been happening is that we get like the new devs that come on board. It's like, oh wow, now they got this skill that's highly relevant. It's like, okay, great, because we actually do need it quite a bit. I think that's we might just have to give it time for that to materialize. Okay. Um, so maybe next topic would be some automation issues. When we take and make this event more efficient, what are the things that we can automate? We can definitely automate the marketing registration. But what are your comments on the actual part sourcing? Like, is there a way to? I mean, what would you suggest if there's sources from say five places, which is? How do we
Yeah.
execute that most effectively to scale? Like, if we wanted to do, say, 10 of these, for the future when we scale, what is possible in automation of sourcing? Do you know
No
about
idea.
that? Not
No
really.
idea. Nothing.
A person's got to just do it and get on the phone, because I'm thinking that there's a way to do it where we set up. I was thinking kind of like, okay, as if we're going to be doing a bunch of this, material is going to be a big issue. So it could be as simple as
Do you find
emails.
sponsors? Like, do you find companies that are sponsor companies that'll donate stuff?
Well, not that part, but the fact that you've got to go through the actual ordering process, meaning that online you go to eBay or say McMaster Car, but you've got several sources like that. Say it's up to 10 sources, let's say.
No idea, Marcin. I've never been
Yeah,
involved in any manufacturing companies at all, so I don't know anything about that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Not, like, not even cursory.
Right, right. Let me just run this by you though, whether it makes sense, because I actually thought it's given that I know about the space quite a bit, and I know that you just gotta make those calls. But I thought there's actually a way to do it. It's like if you establish, for example, like any supplier, you can you talk to them, you establish a relationship, and then you get emails, an email or some way to order where then you can put that in your automation on the email front, where at a given time for the workshop, X days before the workshop, you send out all the auto emails, and because you've worked hard to make those relationships happen, those emails actually result in products ending up at your doorstep,
How
I
much
think.
material material do you have to acquire to do one of these workshops?
It's $325 worth from, like, right now it's about from 5 different sources, but it also includes some 3D printing stuff. Yeah, it's not overwhelming. It's only 40 unique parts.
Okay, and you know what the 40, so the initial work in getting it done was a little harder, but now you know the parts, it's
Yeah,
easier, right?
yeah, it's
Okay.
way easier now. Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't worry about automating something that you're only doing every 6 weeks this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're again way outside of the rabbit hole you need to be worried about right now.
Okay, we'll come to that, but yeah.
If you're doing one a week, if you're doing one every 2 weeks, then sure you can start automating stuff. But how much time does it actually take to order all these things?
Um,
An hour?
well, you got to inventory it, so you can say 3 hours once
3
you got
hours.
all the sources. Yep.
Right. So, is it worth really spending time trying to figure out how to save 3 hours every 6 weeks?
Yeah, not right now. I'm just asking once again because,
Yeah. I wouldn't worry.
how
I wouldn't worry about it. I think you just want to only worry about the stuff that is going to move you forward, and not worry about, the ideas of um, making everything perfect.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's plenty of good, good points going forward. Yeah, I mean we've got plenty to do. So, yeah, as far as
Like your amount of time spent on where do you find these new people is better than how do you automate and
yeah,
save 3 hours into 30 minutes. Like
no, that's true.
you'll spend 20 hours trying to
Focus.
save three.
Yeah. Okay. So, as far as closure and all that, um, do you do you have any kind of like when you work with somebody like myself, do you send out like an assessment?
I don't know because
Or any?
I don't. It's really kind of a fluid process with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Where you are, I mean, overall for you, what you want to really focus on now is starting to get the brand built around what you're doing. So you're doing a really good job at building your processes and back end and the wikis of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, it is just the marketing of it, the landing pages, your website around it, so that there's a brand related to you. So that when people look into going to these workshops and you want to go from 10 people to 20 and doing workshops every 2 weeks versus every 6 weeks, I think you want to build that part out now.
Yeah.
Getting press, having photographers, getting testimonials, getting videos, getting photos, so that you're building that credibility. Like, did you get video footage and photos from the event?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Didn't invite an editor, but we can edit that. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have time, but yeah.
Yeah, but that would be a good one to go and outsource for the next time, is have somebody invite all the local media to come,
Yeah.
right? And get a freelance person or a part-time person to go invite all the media for you.
Yep.
So anything you can do that is going to start building your brand around this and building the marketing around this to build your credibility, that'll allow you to sell your next events easier, because your current list is going to start getting tired at some point soon.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You can only market to your current list for so long before they all know about it, right?
And they're already sold, yeah.
Or they're either in or they're out. But at some point you need to keep building your list and being able to go to the outside world that haven't heard of you and haven't seen your TED Talk. And
I agree with that completely. Mm-hmm.
so that's where you need to work on the marketing and the branding and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say overall, like for like the main things that you've seen me, like as far as what happened over the last 1 year in my outlook and progress?
Your ability to execute is really good. I think the hard part is that it's really about keeping you focused and not getting outside of what you should be focusing on. I think your biggest weakness is also your biggest strength. Your biggest strength is you have the ability to research and think about it, research and think about anything. But the problem is you have the ability to research and think about anything. So instead of researching and thinking about and working on the most important things, you can tend to be very busy working on a lot of stuff that isn't that important.
When you say important, that's immediate term results.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, and that's again your biggest strength, right? You have the ability to research and think about lots of stuff, and the ability to think really big and really pull all these concepts together, but a lot of that isn't necessarily going to move the needle that you need moved right now. You need revenue and gross margin and branding and marketing and traction to build that out, because that's where the scale is going to next come from.
Right. And so you haven't seen examples of people who get into the big thinking because the thing actually succeeding because there's a sequencing and priority issue involved with that?
Well, yeah, but they either have government backing or university backing or
Ah,
donors backing so that they can live, right.
oh yeah.
Or they live like a hermit, and they're the lunatic fringe who are so deep down the rabbit hole that it's like the mad
Ah,
scientist, right?
good point. So you're either on welfare or you're focused on direct product right now.
Yeah, like
Huh.
wasn't Nikola Tesla, wasn't his design supposedly better than what we ended up with, but it was because he couldn't fund it to get it to market.
Yeah, yeah. That is right. That's
So, yeah,
no,
great thinker, amazing stuff, but who cares? He didn't do anything.
right. That's true. Okay.
I think what for you, it's about getting the critical parts moving forward, and figuring out and staying focused on those critical parts so that you're always moving those forward, and that will be the sales and marketing stuff.
Yeah. And so you'd say that like the general skill set to improve, I mean, that is that focus. I mean, any specific suggestions on how to do that? Or it's
Um,
just like, is it like a shift the mindset? That's a paradigm shift, or?
it's just you staying focused on it. It's just you focusing yourself on it. You kind of gut checking yourself, saying, what are the critical things I need to focus on this week?
Uh
I
huh.
think that's probably it. Like, just think more about whatever you're working on this week. Is it the most critical stuff to do this week? Versus, is it important in the scheme of a 5-year project? So you need to think about where you're going for 3 years, but you need to execute on today. And I feel like you can spend a lot of time executing on stuff that is, way out versus, right now.
Right. Okay. Is it most critical today versus most critical for the 3 year or longer term period? And I totally see that.
Yeah, because
I
you end up working on stuff that's important or is interesting or is, but it's not necessarily going to move anything forward right now. What you need to do is move it all forward.
mm-hmm. Because if I'm thinking about the longer term vision, it's simply, I mean, the immediate thing. There's got to be cash flow and planning. What I observed is that, I mean, the thing that I really learned from you that I appreciate is, it's like shit. Like the way I'm going right now, I can never plan for more than like 3 months or 6 months. Like I can't say, okay, I want to do this next year because I just don't know about the funding. Like I don't have the cash flow, and I just simply cannot make any decisions. So that's a thing that I'm totally clear on. It's like a definite, clear financial milestone, so I can say, okay, I can do these things now with that money. So
Correct.
that's
And if
definite.
that's all you're focusing on is these things, you will end up moving it forward.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I saw was uh, Beatles. Paul McCartney and John Lennon were sitting around one day, and they said, um, I don't remember who it was. John Lennon said, I want to build a swimming pool at my house. And Paul was like, well, why don't we write a song that makes us enough money that pays for the swimming pool? John was like, why don't we do that every day? Why don't we try to write a swimming pool? And I think for you, it's what do you do every day that is driving sales and driving marketing? Because if you keep focusing on the process and engineering and efficiencies, but none of that is moving the business in the sales and marketing side that you need right now. Because you'll be able to buy your way out of all these problems later.
Uh huh. Along your line of money will solve all problems.
Yeah.
So for now, just the cash, like super tight on the
Well, we noticed
marketing
this
product.
even when we were building 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We noticed that we could always tweak our systems. We could always perfect things. We could
Yeah.
always have better marketing material. But the reality was nobody was using our current marketing material well enough. We didn't need to have more. We just needed them using our current stuff.
Yeah.
I right? So it was how do we get them using our. So for the first year or so, I think we had 4 or 5 pieces of marketing material. When I left 6 years later, we had like 5,000. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no, we didn't have 5,000. We had about 500. But they don't need 500.
Yeah, so the question is do I work on my strengths or work on that weakness? So I remember Dan Sullivan's talking about if you work on your weaknesses, you get a bunch of strong weaknesses. But so how do we translate that to practice here? So the strength being I can think, but how does that lead me? So the strength has to turn to focus. Like I'm actually working on my weakness, like the focus, right?
So recruit people who can build you the nice website. Recruit people that can build you the good marketing. Recruit people that can get the press to come out to all the events. Recruit people that can do sales and marketing the events. Fill all these things. Because you know that you're going to work naturally on the engineering and process stuff.
Uh-huh.
And recruit people that can do the other stuff for you, maybe.
How is that working on my strengths? Because I get to work in my, say, the engineering and process. Or like, I mean, I call it the big picture, like the whole grand scheme, right? So I do like working on that. And so in order for me to be allowed to do that, to enable that, I just need people around me that can do the other, right? So recruit. So to work with my strengths, in other words, to work on the engineering and big vision, I need to take that intermediate step of recruiting those people that really help the traction. Is that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I like the recruiting part. I like it how things are, like from the big vision perspective, I can say, okay, now exactly this is the spec for the website. Do it. I do like that kind of thing, definitely, because it's definitely the...
Yeah, if you had a really nice website that people could go to and nice landing pages for each of the events and, everything was really nice and tight, professional, looked good, interesting, you were getting with all the events you were doing, that would help you build everything else out. It would help you with the recruiting as well.
Uh-huh. So put some of the, I mean, how big would you make this website? Just very super simple, or like include this stuff like, okay, join as...
Let me give you a really good example.
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter.
Yep.
Kickstarter is all about almost a pretend prototype with fantastic sales and marketing around it. And if enough people are interested, then they'll build it. But they don't spend time on all the engineering and perfecting everything.
You're talking the Kickstarter platform itself?
Well, no, someone posting something on Kickstarter to try to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it can take up to a year to have the final product even get shipped.
Yeah.
Because they don't worry about perfecting the actual product. They worry about sales and marketing to see if people are going to buy it. Whereas you're focusing on building the engineering of the product,
Mm-hmm.
processes, and the documentation, SOPs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that could definitely be a shift. There's actually a really good guy on the website. We've actually briefly talked about it. I can definitely get him going on that right now.
And you know what? And all of the people that are coming to these projects know of marketing people and PR people that would freelance for you to help too, I'm sure.
Okay. So I think
that would be where I would be focusing if I were you.
so. Brand and marketing. So the website. So if you were me at this point, do website first, and then go back to recruiting.
Yeah, I would get the website and branding and marketing going because it'll help you sell out the next event, and then you can get into recruiting of new people to build the processes and systems even better. Like this one ran really well. It doesn't need to be, it's good that you can perfect it more, but it was fine.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that's a definite shift for me. That if we switch to the website, I was totally okay. Just get more people, better product.
You need to be better marketing, better sales. The product will come.
Huh. That's okay. That's very, very useful.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of operate like that, but I'm kind of hearing that very directly from you. I haven't really heard anyone say that. Is that, I mean, that's common language, or that's common in your world, or is that, I mean, that's good insight.
Well, you think about the way that people go and raise money. When they go to a venture capitalist, they don't have the product built. They have a rough idea of what they're building, and they sell
Hmm.
the sizzle, not the steak. They get them excited about where they're going and what the future looks like. And then they raise money, and then they use that money to go build it. What you're trying to do is build it and sell it later. What I'm telling you to do is sell it now and build it later.
Is that in general how people do it? Like, for example, Apple, did they sell it and then first and build it later? Or,
Uh, well, but you're not Apple.
right, not Apple, but
You
so
go
a lot
back to
of
where you are.
startups.
No, so Apple built the wooden prototype, the original wooden prototype, and then they built their the little hack computer, um, and then they put ads in magazines and sold kits. And yes, then they actually built sent the kits out. So yeah, that's exactly what they did. They built a prototype, which is what you've done. Then they put ads in all these techie magazines and got people to want to buy the home computer, and then they sent it out to people.
And when they put those ads in, they didn't have the product, right? I remember watching that in a movie. They didn't have that yet.
Correct. Yeah.
Huh.
See what I mean? That's
Yeah.
exactly what needs to get done. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build a factory filled with all the products right now.
Uh-huh.
And what I'm saying is, we need to get the sales and marketing engines built up.
Hmm.
You know that when I started the COO Alliance, all I did was create a landing page and I pushed it out and I sold it out. And then I was like, okay, fuck, now I have people coming. I got to figure out what to give to them. I've got an event here next week and I haven't
Huh.
even got the agenda done. I've got 16 CEOs coming in and I haven't even figured out what I'm teaching them yet.
Uh-huh. That applies to hardware and information product? Because for us, I mean, there's a little bigger risk. Like we've got physical products. They actually, they have to work. It's much.
They
It
already do
seems
that.
like,
They already do work.
yeah, it's true. It's true. So we're not at the point of we have nothing. It's we definitely have something, and that's what enables us to go forward. Um, the only risk to measure is that okay, be careful what you promise, right? For expectation management, like what are you describing and how much you have to be as close as possible to what you're describing and what you're offering in real
You will
life.
be. You will be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's a definite shift in thinking. But you'd say, I mean, from what you see of all the startups, I mean, um, I mean, you operate a lot in the information world, right? Like education,
No,
education.
no. No, no. Like all the companies that everybody that I'm coaching has a physical product or a service.
And for them, like when they're, but typically they're bigger, right? But does that apply to them too? That they build the marketing first and then the product later too?
More often than not, yeah.
Huh.
I can't really think of anybody who built a factory filled with products and then went out and tried to sell them later.
So could you give me an example of okay? So the Apple was a good example. Another example of someone you're working with right now who's um, building
The
out
only,
marketing and then product later.
sure, the only ones who do it the opposite way, where they have to have the product first and then market it, are like a hotel or a restaurant. But you can't have people paying you for your restaurant food until you have the restaurant built. But like I have people who I have a course next week, and I've got 16 CEOs coming for it, and everyone has paid in advance. I've collected all the money, and I have no idea what I'm teaching them yet. So I sold it and got paid before I even know what I'm doing. If you're building a hotel, you have to build a hotel for someone to pay you the money. You have to build a restaurant for someone to pay you the money for the food. But you could have people paying you to come to these builds before you even have the build done.
The distinction from a hotel and restaurant is that there's a very high quality, like very refined product
Not,
there, right?
not high quality, but something has to be there before someone's going to give you their money. And even that's not entirely true. You'll prepay for your hotel room, but you already know the hotel exists. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
could do a landing page for the next product. Like you could do a brick press build
Yeah.
and do a landing page and do the marketing, and all of a sudden 16 people sign up. And you're like, fuck, let's get the documentation done.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's a definite shift in thinking. Okay. So you said about your event with 16 CEOs coming. Can you tell me another brick and mortar thing where someone's selling a physical product and they don't have it yet, but they're selling it already?
We, um,
Like in your people you're coaching. Any good examples?
well, Marcin, all of them. Like for the most part, well, it's not entirely true.
Huh.
Every company starts with an idea, right?
Right. And you got to sell the idea. You get some investment typically.
Yeah. You sell the idea and get investment, or you sell the idea to a client, or you bootstrap it and you put your money to build something and you sell it later.
That's like no shit, right? It's like when you start something, you you never have all the product first because first of all, product evolves, right?
Right. Exactly. That's my point. Is that you're going to keep tweaking this. You're going to keep perfecting it. It doesn't need to be perfect today because a year from now you'll realize it wasn't perfect and you want to tweak it again.
Huh. Well, I can tell you right now that the product we have right now is way more than enough to satisfy and entertain a bunch of people.
Bingo. So don't touch it for 12 months.
Okay.
Focus on the sales and marketing of it and do 10 more of these events.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden you'll realize you can sell at lots of events and then try a second product and do one or two of those and then do 10 of them.
Okay. Do you see any risks regarding the development team? Because part of the interest of the development team is that people are pumped about.
When Apple started, they had one computer, the Apple computer.
Yeah.
They didn't have laptops and phones and cords and dongles and shit. They just had one computer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Apple II.
Mm-hmm.
The Apple IIe, and then they came out with the Lisa, and then they came out with the Mac. But when they started, they had one thing.
Right.
They knew how to sell it.
Right, right. I'm just seeing how the development team fits in. But the thing is that the development team is now doing still. They're very much entertained. They're doing cool stuff, but it's not necessarily for that next product, right? For the next
I
build.
build a sales and marketing team to
Mm-hmm.
sell what you have, and the stronger your sales and marketing team is, then the development team can follow.
Okay, so I can definitely, at this point, given the reality of the development team, I can shift them more for still development work, but more that's marketing-oriented development work.
Well, so here's if you went back to your recruiter now and said, "I need you to find a PR person and a freelance marketing person and a salesperson," guess what? They could find it for you because they understand all three of those roles.
Then how come, man? Okay, okay. Check this out. I mean, I get people coming at me like regarding the marketing side, but so far I did not have any luck as far as somebody who actually like is involved enough or like kind of understands it or is interested enough to do a good job marketing. Like those guys are all like, all of them think that, I don't know. I think all of them think that we have a product and I don't know. I didn't have any luck. Like those kinds of people always come across my desk, but they don't end up doing anything. And I'm kind of thinking, why is that?
What do they think? They think you're further along than you are, or what?
A lot of that is that like this one guy who was setting up a website. He's doing his own crowdfunding site. He was going to market our stuff, but it's like they're interested. Okay, give me the product, but they don't understand that there's this whole process around product delivery. They just say, just give me a product, you know?
So you'll find the ones who understand it.
Yeah. But I mean, I have never advertised for marketing, sales, and PR people. Um, I could definitely do that and try to maybe go through a more rigorous process of vetting them out, just like I do for the OSE developers right now.
Yeah, I think where you're going to get to is you're going to get to a point where when you start focusing on building out the sales and marketing side, that's when you're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to get the developers because they'll look at what you're building and they'll want to be a part of it.
So the marketing and sales gets us the perception, like more than just the these early adopter developers who are such lifestyle investors. I'll get more people find out. So it'll be good on all sides. Like I'll have to be more selective on making sure that the ones that do come on board are the ones that are actually ethos aligned. Because there's going to be a bunch of
Yeah.
people that just see the glitter and want to get on.
Let me show you something.
But that's a good problem because that means we just have more candidates to select from.
Right. Let me show you. Just take a look at this link right now. These guys are doing something very similar to what you're doing.
Hyperloop?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
They
Musk.
haven't raised money. It's all freelance people that they're giving equity to. But look at their branding and marketing. Right?
Is Musk at the head of that, or he just let that go?
You know, he was never even a part of it. He just had the idea, and he kind of challenged people to try to figure out how to make it happen. But then what they've done is they've attracted a whole bunch of people who've said yes to working on the program, and none of these people are full time. They're all freelance.
Are they paid?
No, they're all given options. But look at the sales and marketing that they've done, right?
Yeah.
They haven't built drawings or what's up. Them was how did they build out? How do they build out the this kind of side of the business first? And that's what you need to do.
Uh-huh. Well, can certainly do that. Now that would feel good because that would, be a powerful presence. Like, look what we're doing.
That would help you recruit engineers. It would help you recruit, people to come to the next events.
Wow. Okay, I like this site. So that's good. That's definitely do that.
So that's all you need is this kind of that type of a website for your business. And then look how much easier it gets for everything. Send that off to a corporate audience. Of course they're going to come and join. Right? Of course they're going to send their teams.
That would facilitate what you suggested before, and that is go to corporate training events, corporate team building.
It will facilitate all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Freelance salesperson, you can get freelance marketing people to help you grow all this, and then all of a sudden you got all this coming through, and then you can buy your way out of all the other problems, and you can pay yourself. What you're doing is you're trying to create all these things that don't drive the business forward right now. Documentation or an efficiency of ordering, eating, like, don't think about it.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome perspective.
Get back and focus now on the sales and marketing and branding and the positioning of everything, and so that you look bigger than you are, and people want to buy what you have. And that will help you with the recruiting. It will help you with building your events. It will help you with making money, and then that will help you because of all that. Then you'll be able to find more of the technical people, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Did you say help look bigger? It will help you look bigger?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't raised any money yet.
Sorry, say it again?
Hyperloop has not even raised money.
Okay.
They've put in some of their own. I can go back and check, but I don't think they've actually done a funding round yet. So I'm actually just been engaged by them to coach their CEO and their two co-CEOs.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just taking options for it. I'm more or less doing it just to work with these guys and learn a little bit about them. But they haven't done anything yet.
Huh. You saying to learn more about Hyperloop?
No, I want to learn how these guys are building a company and getting a whole bunch of people to do something when nothing exists yet.
Damn, that's a good... Yeah, that's good. That's good marketing. Yeah, I really believe in that kind of approach. It's like you basically get commitments, and then, but you got to simply it's all marketing. Like, for example, the thing that I'm planning on that I could put on this website is Hero X. Are you aware of Hero X?
I know. What the hell's his name? I've had dinner with him 4 times.
Diamandis?
Who?
Diamandis?
Oh, Peter Diamandis, and he and I are in Studio Coast together. No, the guy who runs it for him is
Yeah, that guy.
he's from Vancouver. Hang on.
You know him? You met him?
I've gone for dinner with him like 4 times.
Okay, because I'm gonna approach him because what I wanted to do right now, I already got 20K commitments. What I was gonna do is get 100 to 200K for
Christian Cottagini.
what is it?
Christian Cottagini.
Okay.
He's the co-founder and CEO.
Yeah, right now, so with the 3D printer, I was gonna do a microfactory, open source microfactory challenge, crowdfunded design challenge. So it works like this: you don't have anything, but you say, here's the vision, what we're gonna build, and here's a prize for people to compete. So people spend actually more money than the prize itself to compete. But like 100 or 200K award for the open source microfactory, things like design, like the cordless power tool construction set, which is it's $1 billion industry in the United States, like cordless drills. You can 3D print them and so forth. And that was gonna, like I was thinking, okay, that's gonna drive so much interest to our project, and it's just plain marketing, printing really good marketing, which also gets us the technical developments too. That's something we could put on a site too. Now that would be, to organize that would be like a year effort. So we can think about that. But I think that's very powerful for as far as the marketing side. So
Yeah.
the website. Go ahead.
You want to get your website and marketing done before you start building out past that.
Okay, so then, for example, the Hero X would be, okay, now we got our website here, and so when I approach people, they see more of that.
Hero X drive you towards your goals for 2017.
It would if we had a full-time person organizing that.
No, because your goals for 2017 were to fill all of these events that you want to do, right?
The answer is yes, except it's going to take longer for a full setup of the Hero X.
Correct. That's my point is that it doesn't drive you towards your goals. It's a nice to do, not a need to do this year.
Okay. No, it's true. That's true.
It's a distraction.
Okay. All right.
Every hour that you spend on something that's not driving you towards your current plan, your current goals, is a distraction.
Is postponing the goal. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And it puts everything at risk too, right?
In expectations management.
Well, it puts it at risk for yourself.
I mean, so there's a delay, but you're saying specifically what kind of risk, like running out of funds, or
Running out of funds, running out of time, getting frustrated.
yeah, like it's a lot of it has to do with morale and expectation management for the team and for the world looking. Yeah.
Good marketing and events being sold out easily, and more events being sold out easily, and better marketing and good press, that builds morale, it builds momentum, it builds energy,
Mm-hmm.
it helps you recruit.
Yeah.
The Hero X is a distraction right now.
Okay.
Or, better manuals is a distraction right now.
Mm-hmm.
EDI is a distraction right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Sounds good. So I think I got some much more clarity on that. Yeah. Okay. So good. Yeah. Good shift. Thanks. That's a really good last session here.
What I want to see from you as the output is, over the next 45 days, is a really great website and landing pages for your upcoming events, so that we can see what we're marketing and moving forward. That's what would be huge to have those done.
Okay, next 45 days website for the next event. Something that looks really good. Okay, that makes sense because absolutely that will drive people to sign up. So I'm into that.
Company website and landing pages for your next events.
Okay. I think I got my work cut out for you, for me and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you're making good progress on this stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah. So thank you so much, and all together, let's spend a minute celebrating here. Yeah. So thanks a lot for definite several mind shifts that I have gone through. So yeah, very good job. Thanks for the whole year. It's been the best out of all the coaches. I had a couple of other coaches. This was by far you're pretty good on this. So yeah, appreciate it.
You're very early stage. You're not really in my niche that I'm
Right.
use at, but but I get you enough to kind of knock you back to what you need to focus on.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got the right stuff. You've got the right components. So
Okay, that's good. And then when I'm making millions, I might even look you up in the future at pay.
send me a note in 45 days with a link to your website so I can see what everything looks like.
Oh, good point, good point. Little accountability there, huh? Okay, thank you.
Well, also I'll feel good about seeing it move forward from that perspective too.
Okay, I will do that. 45 days, I'm going to send you that beautiful website that we already have the guy that's perfect to do this. This is great.
Perfect. And now you know, and you know kind of the direction you're going in, right? You want to make yourself look and feel like something that people want to be a part of.
Yeah, yep.
Good. You're on the right track.
Okay,
Good luck, Marcin.
okay. Thanks, Cameron. Thanks so much for the air. We'll be in touch.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
take care. Bye-bye.